So the newest episode of Solo Leveling came out, episode 5, and it actually covered chapters 18, 19, 20, and a little bit of, or let's say 1/3 of 21. The pacing was actually okay, and we are going to discuss a few changes over and there in the anime adaptation. And I do believe that this episode, even though it didn't really have much going on in the episode, was a pretty great and good episode in Solo Leveling anime. And let's just jump into that as typical YouTuber shit when they are doing the intros. First of all, something about Sujin Wu. We see Sujin Wu doing his best and doing the body build up shit and exercising himself and being a totally mad Chad lad bro. And a mad lad, an absolute mad lad doing his best, and we get a little bit of fan service looking at his biceps. And then if you do not like boys, I do not like boys myself, I'm straight, but if you are not straight, or if you are a female, or whatever you want to identify yourself, and you do like girls, they give us a little bit of fan service there too. Not as much as Sujin Wu, but hey, it's enough, it's cool. Jokes aside, there is a reason that the exercise scene was actually, it was great in the anime, but they did something pretty peculiar, adding a few scenes that were in the manhwa, were in the source, that actually improved upon what it was, and I'm pretty grateful for that. We will discuss a few things about Sujin Wu later on, but look, we have the interview with a supporting character, with a character that is going to be pretty important, later in the story. And basically, the two extra scenes we get here is rank S people, hunters, talking about their routines, exercising and shit. And if you do notice, you see that Sujin Wu was actually exercising at the very beginning of the episode, and then we see these people, the S ranks, doing the same. And we do get a, let's say, peek into their routine and their role in the society and their status, because these people are just celebrities, they're just huge people. Not in the sense of being physically huge, and many of them actually are, but they have a huge impact on the society. You do remember when we saw our beautiful waifu, I think it was in the first episode, people were like, yeah, it's her, like they were treating her at the same light as in any celebrity or any actor, actress, I don't know, whatever. And the anime team giving us an overlap of what Jin Woo is doing with the S ranks doing is actually pretty great in my opinion, because it helps in the world building side of the things, and we didn't have that in the manhwa. We didn't have those scenes in the manhwa. They are introducing us to the S ranks much sooner, and if you have seen those people before you see them later on in the story, that we are going to see them in the next 7 episodes we have left of this season. I do pray they're going to do a 24 episodes max full, and there is a 2-core season 1 of Solo Leveling. But anyway, being familiarized with them helps a lot going forward, and knowing what role they have in the world and the community and the society, that's a huge plus. Reading the manhwa, you do not get to comprehend that until much later on in, let's say, much less significant scenes, and the effect is magnified by what the anime A1 Pictures and the creative team behind Solo Leveling anime project has done here, and that's amazing. At the same time, it does give you a glimpse into the reasons, one of the reasons why Sujin Wu didn't really want to reveal his abilities. A second reawakening is a pretty big deal. Imagine, you are in a society, this actually ties into the world building section we had before, in which hunters, they are actually categorized by their ranks, and by the rank they have certain privileges, and many of them are much above the law. So, you are this person, Sujin Wu, who actually has a chance that many people, or at least everyone, we can infer that everyone in the society would fucking kill to have, and that's the ability to be able to level up the way he does and receive items and stuff the way he does. Imagine that in our society, you are suddenly confronted with the news that there is a dude that, hey, he can actually level up his intellect by, let's say, reading books, and I do not mean by comprehending books and stuff, like just the task of reading a book, it becomes like a video game and he levels up. And this person, there seems to be no limit to what he can do and how much he can level up. Every single person would want to know how is that happening. And in order to be able to know how is that happening, you will probably go to pretty far extremes to be able to uncover the secrets that Sujin Wu has. And here's the thing, if that's the case, and that's what he is going to do, or Daddy Jin Wu, let's call him, it was pretty rational for our Daddy Jinwoo, not fully Daddy Jinwoo, next episode you're going to see Daddy Jinwoo in all his splendor, to actually hide his ability and let's say hide his reawakened status. And do remember that this was revealed at the very beginning, this was actually discussed, at the very beginning, when later on in the story, in the anime, we do see that the lizards appear and they are out there just out to make use of people, of the weaker people, weaker hunters, for their own goals. And this also ties into that, as in showing the audience, us, that this isn't a very, let's say, a beautiful community of hunters helping each other and shit. It might remind you of Hunter x Hunter or Hunter x Hunter, and that's actually pretty normal. It should remind you of that, as that theme was also present there. But the use here allows us, and the changes they made here allows us to have a better understanding of the worldview. And Sujin Wu is, in my opinion, also getting a stronger, leveling up also on the basis of his intellect. And thanks God, he actually realized that he shouldn't just level up his strengths like a muscle head and try to make things balanced. You are not building a face character in Elden Ring here. This is not some weird ass fuckery in Dark Souls that you go without any clothing and shit or any shielding and shit, and you just build up your stats in a very, very peculiar and weird way for YouTube so you get views. This is just a normal, in his own view, this is a normal society. Not a normal society, this is his own life and normal life. This is not a video game, it's not Elden Ring, it's not Dark Souls or Bloodborne. So the inclusion of all these details and the interconnection of all of these allows us to have a better understanding of the world that we manhwa readers didn't have at the time, and the source readers, source of this anime, Solo Leveling. All in all, great episode. The pacing was actually okay. I did realize that if they did actually decide to take it much farther than they had here, because of the abundance of information in this place, in this part of the story, it would have actually been a pretty stupid idea, because you know the cliffhanger we had here, it would be a much worse cliffhanger, and not a, let's say, appropriately timed cliffhanger. Not just leaving everything at any point is a good cliffhanger. You just have to be smart with that. And in my opinion, they were pretty smart in that respect in this episode. Overall, on the animation part, the highlight of the episode, I'm actually being completely honest here, was him doing the exercising and shit. It was the highlight of the episode. And do prepare yourself, because the whole bunch of shitstorms coming. The next few episodes are going to be amazing and you are going to love them. Thank you very much for watching, and as I say in Farsi, we say in Farsi, شبتون بخیر، روزتون بخیر.